Okay, so in this video, wanted to outline some of the differences between momentum theory and momentum theory beta. So first of all, momentum theory is the official release version. This is a version where I know that the code is stable and it gives me consistent performance. With the beta version, it's exactly the same as the release version, but this version I test out new ideas, experiment with new features, and add new code just to test things out. But what ultimately happens is that the beta version becomes the official release version. So I think we're about 1 week away from me turning this into the official release version. I've decided to allow access to this only because very often on YouTube, I'm actually trading with the beta version instead of the official release. And so you can check this out. This is going to be in your WAP indicators list. You do have to claim it first before you can use it on TradingView. But yeah, I decided to give everybody access to this so they can follow along with what I'm doing on YouTube. And so one of the differences is that the options page, the official release version, there's very minimal options. And this suits my personal taste. I don't like to fiddle around with customizations or anything like that. I just like plug and play. But once I opened up the subscription, I realized that some people needed a bit more options, like to extend things, like to customize things. So I decided to extend the customizations. So the new ones, there's a lot more levels. It looks more intimidating, but basically it's just turning on and off levels here. And so what I found is that some people, they didn't need all those higher time frame levels. They just wanted the current levels, the daily levels. And so I gave that option. So right now, if you need to see the highs and lows, previous bar opens, the daily open, if you wanted to see peak levels, these are all split out. So you can toggle them on or off if you need them. So that's one change. Another change is that I have updated the code so it's a lot more efficient. Now when I'm changing timeframes, the beta version has more efficient code, so it loads a lot faster than the official release. And this really helps when I'm flipping through, or even if I'm going to lower timeframes. So that's one big difference. I think I tested it out. This one is 10 times faster than the official release version. And so that's something that's going to be very useful as well. Something else that has changed, which actually is quite a significant change from the last one, is that I now use new logic for my entries. Previously, I was looking at two time frame alignment. If I'm taking a trade, let's say on the M15 here, I'm looking at two time frame alignment. I wanted to see the M15 and the H1 both be aligned in order to take a trade. And that worked fine a lot of times, but once I started going down to the scalping timeframes or the seconds timeframes, that sort of alignment didn't really work. Having 1 second and 5 second alignment, for example, gave me too many false entries. And I felt that having that indicator let me know which entries were good. It just didn't make sense down at these timeframes. So I decided to test out a new idea, which ended up becoming the entry patterns. So if you've been following my YouTube videos in recent months, I've introduced the idea of these entry patterns, reversal patterns, continuation patterns, and pullback patterns. These are still using breakout levels and peak levels. I still need that two time frame alignment, but I'm using it more in context with the momentum cycle itself. And so that's a big change that has happened. I'm going to go over all of these in a separate strategy video, but for now, I'm just going to go over what's changed with the indicator. And so now these cycles, these entries, I have split them out. So if, for example, if all you wanted to see were breakout reversal entries, then I can just have breakout reversal entries. And if I want to highlight them, triggers highlight, and it shows me where all those breakout reversal entries are. Right, so you have the breakout, price came down, here's that breakout reversal, here's the breakout level, price came up, here's that breakout reversal entry. And so you can study my entries, my style of entries, just by going over each one of these. And you can toggle off on and off the ones that you don't like. So that's a big change. That's a major change. I don't think it'll mess anybody up, but it is going to take a bit of time for me to explain exactly what has changed or why I'm trading it in that way. And again, I'll do that in a different video. That's another change. So making the code faster and more efficient. One thing I had to do is I did have to get rid of some of these data. So if you hover over the official release version, you get all this data for this particular entry. But this was actually slowing down the calculations. So the new one, it's just telling me the cycles. I like the idea of having all this information and taking a snapshot of the market at any particular point, but I think I would much rather have the speed update than something like that. So that's one thing that's another thing that has changed. And I think what else has changed? I have changed some of the structures of the timeframes. Um, so previously on the daily, on the official release, I'm looking at yearly levels. So I'm looking at the yearly time frame. But what I found is that it doesn't make sense to look at the yearly on the daily chart. So I'm looking at the 3 months now. So and the reason why is that if you look at the 15 minute, I'm looking at 15 minute and the daily levels, and the relationship between the daily and the 15 minute and the daily is exactly the same as the relationship between the daily and the 3 months. It's not the same as daily and yearly. And so now there's a stronger relationship between the time frames. And so I have aligned it. I can't remember. I forget which ones exactly that I've changed, but all of them have now been um, tweaked. So we have all the same structure. Not There's not many major changes, but just very minor changes. But one structure change that might mess up some people is that on the 15 minute, I'm no longer looking at H4 or H1. I decided to just go all in on the H2 instead. I've always looked at the H2 for the when I'm trading the H8 momentum, but for a long time I could never get rid of the H4 H1 because this is a time frame that most people are comfortable with. So I did want to keep that uh, in the official release, but in the new release I decided, just to go all in on the cycles and that relationship. And so far it's been working great. I don't miss that at all. So hopefully it does. You're able to work with the new structure as well. If you still like H4 and H1, if you just go to the 10 minute, then that you see the H4 and H1 on the 10 minute instead of the M15. So that is one difference that might mess up some people, but hopefully it's not going to be too much of a struggle to move on and use the H2. And then there's some just very minor things like I changed some of the cycle names. I'm no longer using rebreakout. Using pullback continuations. I had added icons, and I've made the icons gray if the current H8 high or low has not been triggered yet. So very minor things like that, nothing too significant. And I'll go over that when I do the official documentation. And another thing, the quick bias, I've now extended it. Previously, it just looked at levels, tells me if there's a range or not. With the new one, well, this one has also levels, but it also shows the momentum cycles. And this one does not have ranges in there on this time frame, but when there's a range, the range gets added into the calculations as well. And I've also extended this to also show the bias for this particular bar. And this is based off of the cycles. So if this bar is in a good unidirectional cycle, cycles that have breakout levels and peak levels both pushing in the same direction, these cycles in black. If this one is in one of those good cycles, then it'll get lit up, and it also needs some other additional criteria, which I'll explain in a different video as well. But essentially, all you need to know for this video is that if this indicator gets lit up, then it tells me that I can use this time frame as my higher time frame bias. Yep. So I think that's about it. There's not many other changes. Again, there's not many major changes. It's more changes under the hood or very small, detail-oriented things. Not too much in terms of the workflow. I think the biggest change is the entries. So now the entries, I call them perfect entries. Not perfect meaning that that they'll always be correct, but perfect in the sense that they're all always going to match the cycles and the logic of why I'm trading these. Um, I think what else about this? I don't think there's anything new. Um, what I need to do now is I definitely need to do an update about the strategy. There are things that have changed with the strategy, and so I am going to go over all of those things as well. So once you see that, then it'll all make sense a bit more. But essentially, I just want to go over what are the changes in the new beta version. Not too much. I did take out some of the things like the sessions. I took that out just for speed improvements. So this one is more about speed improvement than anything else. And I think that's all I need to go over. Yeah. All right. So that's it. And I have one more video I want to do, hopefully by end of today. And that's going to go over the changes in the strategy.